All right, it looks like there's a few attendees that are logging in, but in the being respectful of your time, we are going to get started. And I'm going to introduce our panelists this evening. My name is Michelle Olson, and I am the Associate Director of Enrollment Services here at Nebraska Methodist College. And I am happy to introduce to you our program director, Kate Rollins, and Sydney Payton, who is our admissions coordinator for our programs. I am going to go over with you guys quickly our agenda and kind of walk you through what we're going to be going through today. A reminder that this presentation is being recorded. Please feel free to submit questions as we will answer them during our presentation and also as well during our Q&A portion of the presentation. All of our participants are currently in nurse and listening mode. We just want to keep the chatter down so that we can give our information as we go. And we're going to launch some poll questions for you that will help us drive the conversations today and what you all want to learn in here today. So we're going to launch our questions. Our first question is, when are you interested in starting school? For this opportunity, we have the option of the fall of 22 and the fall of 23. This program is specifically, it's a lockstep program, so there is not a spring semester for this program. All right, it looks like most of you are interested in the fall. So if any of those that did not answer, just reach out to us if you have questions regarding our start times. All right, our next poll goes over our education levels. This just helps us to know if you're a first-time student or a transfer student. So let's see. Give it a few more seconds. It looks like the majority of you all are transfer students, but we do have a couple of current high school seniors, so that's helpful to know to guide our conversations today. All right, and our last question is, how did you hear about Nebraska Methodist College? All right, we have a lot of great answers. All right, it looks like the majority of you heard about the college through a friend or family, and we always love to hear that. And some were in a internet search, and others had attended a college fair. So thank you for that. That really helps us with our messaging and how you all are learning about us. All right. All right, so we are going to jump in, and I'm introducing Sydney Payton, who is our admissions coordinator, and she's going to tell you a little bit about Nebraska Methodist College.
Specifically on healthcare education. We have been around for a pretty long time. We were founded in 1891. We're the longest continuously running healthcare college around the region. And we have over 1,200 students currently enrolled. So we're big enough to give you all of the resources that you need to be successful. We are directly affiliated with the Methodist Health System, so we have a bunch of different clinical sites. Then we offer over 40 degree programs, and those range anywhere from certificates to doctorate degrees. Just a little bit more of a snapshot of us here at Nebraska Methodist College. Again, with the 40 plus areas of study, if you come here, you will have friends from all different programs. You really would get close to the people in your cohort in the program though, and really get to have a nice community here. We have a small student to faculty ratio. So as you see, a 13:1. You're really going to get one-on-one attention in your classes. Your professors will know you by name, and that's always a great thing to have. You are never going to be a number here. You're always going to have that one-on-one attention, which is great if you ever need any help in classes. We try to be really upfront with our tuition and our housing prices here. We like to be as crystal clear as we can with incoming students and current students. Although we are private, we are a not-for-profit, so we try to put back in all the money that we get into students and the resources to help them be the best students that they can be. We try to keep tuition as low as we can, and for the past 4 years, we have not had a tuition increase. You will also not have to pay to apply to this program. It's a completely free application. The only fees that you'd really run into during the application process would be sending transcripts from any other institutions that you have attended, such as colleges. Sending transcripts from a high school is always a free service from high schools. And then we have over 1,200 students currently enrolled. That usually stays pretty stagnant, but it can definitely range depending on the year. The good thing to keep in mind is that we are small. And you're gonna be part of the community here. The great news is we are not requiring ACT scores for the fall 22 admission cycle. If you have taken the ACT, we still recommend that you submit your scores to us, especially because we do have a new scholarship that we will talk about later on, where if you have an 18 or higher on your ACT, you might be eligible for that scholarship. All of our students here who are accepted into on-campus programs, including Rad Tech and Imaging Sciences, receive an iPad. And that iPad is really helpful going through classes. You will get to use it to go through PowerPoints, to take notes directly on the iPad. You can play YouTube videos if you're wanting to study. And it also has a few apps on there to help you study too. We are directly affiliated with the Methodist Health System. And what that means for you is it's going to give you really great opportunities for clinicals. We have tons of sites ranging from around Council Bluffs to Fremont. You will have a couple of distance clinicals, and Kate will go into that further on a few slides later. We have a really high employment rate with people who go through our programs here. You can see there that we have a 96% employment within 6 months after graduation. And there's definitely a ton of jobs around different states in the area too, if you were ever interested in moving after graduation. Kate, do you want to walk the students through kind of what the Rad Tech program looks like and what they can expect?
Absolutely. So hi, everyone. I'm Kate Rollins. I'm the program director for this program here on campus. I am one of 3 of our team of faculty that you will be encountering in your instruction here in the courses there. Some of the highlights that I think make our program unique and desirable are the fact that we have a very small cohort size. We only admit 26 new students every fall. That's 1 to 8 to a student to teacher ratio or a professor ratio. So that's quite small. So some find that a good thing and some find it not so good. So if you're absent from class, you're probably going to get an email from me. As a matter of fact, you will. Probably not is not true. You will be getting an email from me wondering if everything's okay and what you need to do to get caught up and get caught up in lecture. So classroom days versus clinical days. I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what a typical day looks like. We have 2 cohorts of X-ray students going through our program at all times. we call the first year students, and then as you complete your third semester, you pivot into your second year of radiography program. Since our program is a 24-month program, to complete the associate's degree, the first year are the first 3 semesters, and the second year would be semesters 4 through 6. So what's nice is that first year students, because they really need the bulk of their education to be in the classroom, learning techniques, learning theory. You would attend classes on Mondays and Wednesdays your first year. In your second semester, you still will have classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, but now your clinical day will be Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's typically what a week would look like. There are no radiography or programmatic courses on Fridays during your first year, so that's really nice for students. We realize that students have to work to make a living or to eat and make your car payment. So we think that weekends and evenings, and especially having Fridays off, you could get a bulk of your work hours in that really wouldn't be have a negative impact on your academics. We also have the ability to, once you complete the first 24 months and you graduate from our program with your associate's degree, you can continue onto our online imaging science or bachelor's degree. Most students who transfer in a few credits can complete this 4-year bachelor's degree in just an additional 2 or 3 semesters. So one of the things that you'll notice here is that our bachelor's degree program is a 3-year program. We say that because we do have semesters that go through the summer, and so 2 summers constitutes a whole year of study. Okay. You may choose associate's degree or the bachelor's program at any time. If in the beginning you do choose to be an associate's degree and you later change your mind, thinking maybe you do want to do a specialization track into CT, mammography, or MRI, you just come to me as the program director and we can fill out some paperwork and we can get you started on the track to complete your bachelor's degree. That's pretty nice. A lot of parents and a lot of students and their parents especially like the fact that you can get a 4-year degree in 3 years or less. So that's something that we really are happy about. Students have access to our state-of-the-art Energized Lab. That's located in its own building. Students have a name badge that allows you access anytime that the college campus buildings are open. You can go in with a classmate or maybe someone from your home or a friend or family, and you can, as long as it's not a child, you can practice on each other. So using the equipment. What's nice about this equipment is it's the same exact equipment they have in a lot of the Methodist physician clinics that you'll be attending for clinical practicum. So what you learn on in the department is the equipment you'll be using once you get to the clinical side. We newly acquired a C-arm piece of equipment. C-arms are used in surgical x-ray cases. Before there was a lot of, we would just explain how surgery happened, and now we actually have a piece of equipment that we can demonstrate in the learning lab before you go to clinical and encounter a sterile procedure. So students gain a lot of confidence in doing that. One thing that's nice about our program is that your first year, first semester, you take all general ed courses. And at the end of that fall semester, Karen works with you and she teaches a little bit of positioning just to prepare you for second semester when you go out to your clinical site so that you're ready to help when you hit the floor in the clinical. Our clinical preceptors and the staff appreciate when students come ready to prepare to help with the workload. And students on day 1 can perform chest x-rays, which you will find chest x-rays are probably the majority of the procedures performed daily in the radiography department. Was there anyone that had any questions yet, Michelle? Or I see there's a couple things in the chat here. Lauren says, do you offer a bachelor's degree in radiography, medical imaging, or only associates? Lauren, we do have both. Everyone completes the associate's degree in the first 24 months. And then those who choose to can go on and complete their bachelor's degree in that third year. COVID vaccine requirements. This is a very fluid thing. So things are changing. Right now, all of Methodist health system is going to the fact that students will need to be vaccinated in order to participate in clinical education. Now, we do have some students who have completed an exemption, but we do have to counsel them that this will probably alter their timeline to graduation. Okay. In this slide, you'll see the responsibilities of being an RT. We often use our education in anatomy and positioning to help make diagnostic images in the hospital or clinic setting. As an RT, we'll also be expected to perform basic patient care skills. That can be anything from vital signs, patient transfers from wheelchair to a bed, venipuncture in order to draw a lab or insert contrast media. And occasionally there will be the act where you will have to actually perform CPR on an actual patient. Not every student gets to do that, but there have been a handful of students that report to me that they got to do CPR on a human. One of the main responsibilities is to HIPAA. That is a patient confidentiality at all times. This is especially difficult and hard to do and extremely important in a small knit communities such as the outlying rural areas in the Iowa that you will be attending. All radiographers, we teach you from day one to practice radiation safety. I think everyone knows that radiation is harmful biologically to the body, and we teach you ways to keep yourself as well as your patients safe from harm from those biological processes. You'll be able to use critical thinking skills. I tell students from day one, in order to be a radiographer, you really need to think on your feet. We will make you good problem solvers. Not only will we educate you, but we will teach you in different scenarios how to respond appropriately to help the patients. You will need to have good oral communication. You'll need to be able to take a good written history from your patient and relay that information to the radiologist or the doctor to help them make a diagnostic X-ray report. And of course, above and beyond, the mission of Nebraska Methodist College and Methodist Health System itself is compassionate care. This is applied to all patients as well as their family members. Once you do become an RT, what can you do with that degree? Radiographers are employed everywhere. Hospitals, I think everyone realizes that. You can also have a radiographer who's just assigned to the emergency room, the emergency department. You will be able to do fluoroscopy procedures, which is live or latent images. There'll be surgery centers that you can work at where you perform x-rays while the patients are under anesthesia. You'll be able to work in trauma centers where they do portables and different specialty areas such as orthopedic clinics or maybe a neurology center or a cancer oncology center. The majority of our rotations, though, will be done at outpatient clinics called MPCs, Methodist Physicians Clinics. We have 26 different rotation clinical sites for students to experience. All 26 are encompassed in this slide. There'll be surgical centers, outpatient clinics, private physician's office, mobile radiography companies, and we do have some contacts that students could, if they wish to be employed later on after they pass their registry, to do travel radiography, either with a cruise ship. I did have a student that has actually taken x-rays for the Tennessee Titans. So that's kind of a cool job. So there are all kinds of ways to be employed as a radiographer. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Sydney, and she's going to tell you exactly how to apply to our program, and we hope to hear more from you. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Kate, for walking us through that. So our applications criteria here at the college and the process of applying is pretty streamlined. We like to try to keep it as simple for you as we can. What we will look at for both the radiologic technology programs and the imaging sciences program is at first a minimum cumulative GPA of a 2.5. So those of you coming directly from high school, definitely, if you are in your junior or senior year, really pay attention to trying to earn as high of a GPA as possible, especially in math and science. And those coming from other colleges or transferring in with some college credits, what we will do is we will take all of the colleges that you have gone to in the past and combine those GPAs. That will give us a cumulative. So in between all the colleges, we look for a 2.5 or above. We will also need your official high school transcript and also any college transcripts that you have gone to. This does include any dual enrollment or college credit classes taken in high school. If you have gone to a few institutions in the past, or you don't remember where your college credit was taken from during your time in high school, we will run a national clearinghouse report for you once you have submitted an application, and that will be able to tell us where you have gone to college in the past. So we can definitely help you out with letting you know what transcripts we will need you to send. And after you submit an application, I will reach out to you and let you know that also. We look for a previous success in math and science coursework. It is pretty science heavy in both of these programs, and you will need some basic math knowledge too. So we will take out just the math and science courses that you have taken. This will include things like microbiology, human biology, intermediate, algebra, statistics, general math and science courses. And in between those, we will calculate a separate GPA for that. And we also look for a 2.5 or above there. We also have what we call the technical standards. These are just saying that you can lift 50 pounds. You are able to stand for an 8 to 12 hour shift for clinical. You will understand the stipulations of the program and what it is and what you will be doing, and that you do not anticipate any difficulties learning or being able to complete the program. So just some general types of questions, and that will fulfill that questionnaire that we require. ACT scores, as I said before, are not required for admissions. You are welcome to send us your ACT scores if you have taken it in the past, as you might be eligible for another scholarship if it is an 18 or above. And then once again, due to COVID-19, observation hours are not required. It definitely is something that would be beneficial to you if you can find a clinic who is accepting job shadowing. Definitely reach out to them and just double check if you're interested. It never hurts to try. And it is good to see before you start with the program if it's something that you'd really enjoy. So the application process, the first thing that you'd start with is our online application. This is pretty simple to find. If you have communicated with me by email before, you will already have this link. If you do not currently have the link, you can head to our website and click the Apply Now button up in the top right corner. It's pretty streamlined, pretty easy to walk through. It will have you fill out the colleges that you've gone to in the past, general contact information, and then it will also have the questionnaire as part of the application. So in the past, we did have students complete it separately on our website. This way, it's all part of the application, very simple for you. An important thing to note is once you start the application, definitely don't be afraid to submit it, even if you don't have the written statement done or your college transcripts or high school transcripts sent in. Submitting the application initially just allows us to get your application rolling and allows us to start processing it. The written statement and your high school and college transcripts can be sent after you submit the application to us. And if you do not attach it directly to your application, there's the email that you send it to, just admissions@methodistcollege.edu. Next slide, please. Awesome. So most of our students do come from other colleges and have typically attended anywhere from about 1 to 3 institutions before coming to us. It's not very uncommon for people to have a change of plans on what they want to do for their career. So if you are someone who's transferring in, what we would do is review your previous transcripts for any possible transfer credits. You will get an unofficial review from me if you do send me any transcripts. I can look at what courses you've taken and tell you courses that would be likely to transfer. The important things are we need an official transcript that the classes are listed on. They would have to be from an accredited institution. So there are Community College of the Air Force is one of them. There's a few others who are not accredited. So unfortunately, we can't take credits from those places. And then you have to have a C- or better in any of the courses in order for them to be transferred in. And then they also have to be comparable to what's required in our curriculum. Transferology is a really helpful site. Transferology will allow you to put in any courses that you have taken, and it will tell you matches that we have with the college. If that course has not been reviewed yet by a registrar, there is also an option to send it to the registrar, and then you would get a response back from Transferology once they look over it. Once you are officially accepted and deposited into the program, a few weeks after, you would then get an official review of your transfer credits and be able to see what was transferred in. To stand out as a strong applicant, I recommend that you proofread your written statement, have mom or dad or a close friend read over it just to make sure there is no grammatical errors and that it makes sense. Please don't write a 5 to 6 page essay. Just generally answering the questions fully. They don't need to be super elaborate, but definitely put some work into it and some thought into it. Having a really personal story and being able to see that you hear about the program will help a lot when we do send your application to the admissions committee. Familiarize yourself with the admissions requirements in the college. A great resource is either talking directly to me. I can answer any questions for you, or definitely check out our website. You can see all of the standards on there, all of the admissions requirements, and also some cool things like student life. Make sure to have your materials and on time. We will go over on the next slide the deadlines. Be actively involved in the admissions process. I will be contacting you about every 30 days, just checking in, making sure that your application's going well, that you're getting everything turned in on time, and then just reaching out, asking if you have any questions. If you're okay, just let me know that you don't have any questions currently, and that way I know that you got my message. If you are a junior or senior in high school, just make sure you are taking any math and science courses that you are offered. I know it can be tempting to slack off in those years, but it will be really important in preparing you to have a good foundation coming in. Our fall 2022 cohort deadlines are December 6th and then February 1st, 2022. That first deadline is a priority deadline, and then the second is the standard. I recommend to have everything in us by the priority deadline, because what will happen is before Christmas, after that deadline has passed, we will go over all of the completed applications that we have. They will get sent to and reviewed by the admissions committee, and then we will accept the top students. We accept up to 26 students into these programs in total, combined between the two. If we do have any seats left, once that February 1st, 2022 deadline has passed, we will go over all of the applications again and accept the students up until we are filled with the 26 seats. You do not have to interview to get into these programs at all. You just have to meet the admissions criteria and submit all of your materials on time. If the cohort is full and all the seats are taken, have no fear, we have a wait list and you could still be offered a seat. If someone decides to go somewhere else or decides to go a different pathway, you can still be offered a seat. So we'll be in contact with you if that is the case. And then your first day of classes will be August 15th, 2022. And then just a general outline of costs. For 2021, our allied health undergraduate programs was 580 a credit hour. And then for the imaging sciences degree, it's 122 hours. The enrollment fee is $100 after you are accepted. That is required within 30 days of your acceptance, but it will be applied to your first semester excuse me, tuition and fees. And then there is a $35 compliance check. My apologies. And then we also have a $200 technology fee, as long as a $100 technology fee as well.
I would like to insert here that for the associate's degree program, it is still $580 a credit hour, but the total number of credit hours for the associate's program is 80, as opposed to 122 for the bachelor's, just to give you a perspective.
Thank you for that clarification, Kate.
All right. Thank you, Sydney. All right, we are going to go over our scholarships for our programs. We have scholarship opportunities for first-time students, which would be newly graduated high school students, as well as our transfer students. And I apologize, my computer is not liking switch slides today. All right, we're going to start with our first year academic and leadership scholarships. A couple of things to be thinking of is completing your FAFSA, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. For these leadership and academic scholarships, you do need a 3.5 cumulative GPA to apply for our Becker Presidential Scholarship. This is a highly regarded scholarship, and that application is due December 6th. So that is coming up very quickly. If that is something that you meet the requirements, I highly encourage you to jump on the scholarship tab on our website, and that is where you will find that application for that Becker Presidential Scholarship. Our next level would be the Excellence in Allied Health Scholarship. That requirement is a 3.2 GPA, and that deadline is actually February 1st of 2022. You must have your application completed to apply for scholarships. If you have not completed your application in our system and you have submitted a scholarship application, it will not be considered until your application is complete. Our upfront merit scholarships for high school graduates, they are based upon your GPA. This is a scholarship that you do not have to apply for, it is awarded based upon your GPA. You must have a FAFSA on file by June 1st, hopefully sooner than that, but June 1st is the deadline for that. The FAFSA opened up October 1st, so you're able to start that process today and forward. This scholarship is awarded at the time of acceptance. So once you receive your acceptance letter, you will also receive a scholarship award letter as well. The great thing about our scholarships is they are stackable. So your merit scholar, if you're awarded an academic scholarship or a leadership scholarship, we will add the merit scholarship on top of those other scholarships. All right. So for these first-time students, the merit scholars, if your GPA is a 3.7 or higher, you could earn $4,500 per year. And then the next level down would be a 3.3 GPA, would be $3,500, and then a 3.0, $2,500. So something to be mindful of is when you apply and get accepted and your GPA is a 3.6, we will reevaluate your GPA at the end of each semester. So your fall semester and your spring semester. If your GPA increased during those times, and that would move you into a higher level of merit scholarship, please let your admissions coordinator know that to take another look at that transcript. And we will award the higher level for that. All right, so our transfer students also are offered merit scholarships. It's a little bit different than our first-time students. For our transfer students, the highest level is a 3.6, would award you $4,000 per year. A 3.3, a $3,000 per year, and a 3.0, $2,000 per year. And the same is true if you are in classes and you jump to a higher level, we will take a look at that and award a higher level before classes started. You just need to let your coordinator know to take a second look at that, at your transcripts. We also have several other opportunities for scholarships. One is our legacy grant. It's a $2,000 one-time award if you had a sibling that graduated from NMC or a sibling or dependent child of alumni. Also, if you are a member of a United Methodist Church, you would be awarded a $1,000 one-time award for being a member of the church. What we would need is an email or a letter from your church confirming that you are a member of the church. If you are a community college student and you have earned a Phi Theta Kappa membership, then you would be awarded a $1,000 one-time award for that. And if you were in HOSA when you were in high school, that would be the Healthcare Student Association that you were a part of. We would just need confirmation from your school or your certificate that you were an active member of HOSA. And then we do have a brand new scholarship. It is a career new scholarship that is up to $9,000 per year, and it is a renewable one, which would go through while you're attending with us each year. To be able to apply for this scholarship, you would have to have an ACT score of an 18 or higher, and you must not have not earned an associate's or bachelor's degree previously. And this application is currently open, and the deadline is February 1st. So those are all great opportunities. And again, you can find where on our website where you apply for these scholarships. All right, so we've covered a few things about the cost of the program. As we mentioned before, per credit hour is $580 per credit hour. Books really vary each year, but I would say that your program books, though your average cost per year is $1,300, but some years are heavier than others. You will use the same books those 2 years for your program. And Kate, do your books ever change to where you're adding different books to the program?
We may change editions, but we generally keep the same text.
Okay, perfect.
And authors. I would like to say that a lot of colleges make you take 2 textbooks per semester or per course. We don't do that. Matter of fact, we prescribe to 1 textbook, and then we use it in like multiple courses. So you might use your Carleton book, for example, in 3 courses, imaging 1, 2, and 3. That's a huge savings to the student by reusing the books in different courses throughout your 24 months with us.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. And then you will also need to order scrubs for this program. You will not need them until your 2nd semester. So you do not need to worry about it your 1st semester. Our bookstore is great. If you want to try on some scrubs with us, you certainly can. Different brands fit differently, but just know that you do have the opportunity to check them out at our bookstore. So the estimated tuition for 1 year is a little over $16,000, and that is for not per semester, but the full year. We are pretty low on student fees, and we're proud of that. You do have a $25 student activity fee per semester. A health fee per semester, spring and fall, is $60. A $200 technology fee per semester. It is $100 in the summer, and the health fee is $30 in the summer. And then you will also have that drug screen that is required for clinicals. Those are all included in our fees. As I mentioned before earlier with the FAFSA, it is required to be eligible for scholarships and eligible for financial aid. If you want to write down our school code, it is 009937. You can also find that on our website as well. The sooner you are able to get that FAFSA done, then that's one less worry you have. So we just encourage you to start that process now. That way, when you're applying for the scholarships, you know that requirement is met. And if you have never used Education Quest, they are a great resource here in Omaha. You can set up with a virtual meeting with them, or they do have a great resource for scholarships on their website. And they are having this week actually an event to walk you through the FAFSA process. So I highly encourage you to take a look at them and maybe register for their event that is this weekend. And the website for the FAFSA, always use this. Don't just put Google into a search, because sometimes it takes you to not the official FAFSA website. So always be careful when you were working on that. All right, we are going to transition back to Sydney, who's going to go through some of the fun things that we have here on campus.
All right. So we have tons of different opportunities to get involved here on campus. You're definitely never going to be bored in between your clinicals and your classes and all this stuff that's available to do here. We have the mobile diabetes unit that might have seen around the Omaha if you're in the area. We are always looking for students to help with the mobile diabetes unit. We have a lot of nursing students who help out, but there definitely is opportunities for rad tech and imaging sciences students as well, helping check people in, for example. We have service projects along with an alumni mission trip. The alumni mission trip, you can see a picture, it's that fourth picture down. That is one of our faculty here. They went to Jamaica, and that should be starting back up here soon, hopefully. We weren't able to do it recently with the COVID restrictions, unfortunately. We do have student government and also some student academic clubs. We do have an honor society called the Nebraska Beta Chapter, Lambda Nu. That is students excelling in academics. You can get involved with that honor society and really be part of that community. We also have a social justice and inclusion council, and then a student housing association as well if you live on campus. Our student ambassadors get really involved on campus. Those are students who have been here for typically a few semesters, and they've really gotten ingrained in the college and gotten really involved in different activities. The student ambassadors really help guide other students along the way. When you come to care days or any preview days that we have on campus, you'll get to meet them. And a lot of them also teach supplemental instruction. That's a really good tutoring resource too. Homecoming week, we actually just had this past week. I had to miss the dodgeball tournament, but it looks super fun. Making yourself at home on campus, we have campus housing, and it's not like a typical dorm. They are apartments. We have both 1-bedroom apartments and 2-bedroom apartments. There is 32 1-bedrooms and 34 2-bedrooms here. And depending on the length of the lease, and if you have a roommate or you don't have a roommate, they range anywhere from $6,800 to about $9,000 for this past year. And that should be pretty similar for the next. The good thing about that housing is all of the utilities are included, including laundry and then also Wi-Fi. We do have a chapel on campus since we are loosely affiliated with the Methodist Church. So we do host Bible studies if that's something that you're into. We have tons of study lounges around, especially on the second floor in our Student Engagement Center. We have individual study rooms as well as group study rooms for you. We have a pool, sand volleyball court, and a community garden. We are also getting a wellness center that's going to be brand new sometime this year. They are just starting construction on that, but we're going to have some group fitness classes, cardio and weight equipment, along with massage chairs, which everyone always likes. Next slide, please. Awesome. And we have student support services. So we always recommend students start out with as much tutoring and help with academics as you need. It's always really easy to get started with the tutoring and the extra support. It's a lot harder to get that once you are halfway through the semester and realize that you're struggling with a class. So when you begin courses here, definitely make sure you take advantage of all of the support services that we have on campus. We do have academic advising, and you will be enrolled for classes a few months before you come to campus. Academic support services will help you with things like time management, testing strategy. They also have tutoring. Writing sources are located on what's called My Methodist. That's the student website for accepted students. And then we have supplemental instruction. Supplemental instruction is a thing that a ton of students love here. And what that is students who have been successful in courses that are notoriously harder on campus, things like human anatomy and physiology. We have students who have been successful teach a kind of a course every week to just go over the materials that their professors taught in class. So you get a different perspective than the professor themselves teaching. We have counseling services if you ever need that on campus, and also 24/7 security. Once you come here, I always recommend putting the cell phone number in and saving that so you always have it. We do have the Learning and Academic Resource Center. We have Campus Health. Campus Health is actually located in the same building as most of the Rad Tech Imaging Sciences classes, so it's convenient for you. Campus Health can help you with any vaccination requirements that you need to. And now we're going to move on to if anyone has any questions.
Okay, so we have one question coming in, and this would be for Kate. How I will need to work while I am attending school. What would you recommend, and how many hours per week do I need to prepare for studying, and also what is an acceptable amount of hours to work as well?
Now, each student has a little different academic capabilities, but we pretty much hold to the fact that students really should work no more than 20 hours per week. I can definitely tell when students are working more than that, it starts to cut into their study time, and I can certainly notice their academic standing that falls, as it would when you can't spend as much time studying. So no, we're really not going to tell you you can't work, of course, but we do recommend that you don't. Your big goal, your job is to complete radiography school, right? And get out and get a radiography job and support your family with that higher earning income. And you certainly don't want to shoot yourself in the foot by working more than 20 hours a week so that you can't achieve that larger goal.
Perfect. All right. Another question is about clinicals. Where are the clinical sites typically, and do I have to travel for clinicals?
Yes, students are responsible for their transportation. You will require you to have a good working vehicle in good repair with good tires. And it will also require that you have the means by which to fill that car up with gas. We have 26 clinical sites throughout the Omaha, Iowa metro area. Our furthest site is about 60 miles from campus. To those further distant sites, you only have to do one rotation in your 24 months. And we typically try to pair you up with another student so that you can share the cost of gas and transportation to that distant site.
Okay, one more question. What is different? I'm a transfer student, so how can I prepare for a healthcare program? What is different between traditional school and a healthcare school?
I would say that the healthcare, we're really heavy on the sciences, and that would be, I would suggest students take a lot of math and a lot of biology and anatomy if they could get, if that's available to them in their high school years. Maybe even medical terminology that would transfer in from a community college. Other than that, you can come with absolutely no transfer credit. We supply all those courses that are required here at the college at Nebraska Methodist College. So you don't really have to worry about transfer credit. But once you start with Nebraska Methodist College, you want to bring in all the transfer credit that you can. I would suggest taking some of your gen eds to get out of the way, your COM 101, speech, psychology, algebra, even medical terminology. All those things will transfer in nicely to our college.
All right, thank you. Sydney, this next question is for you. What is the benefit of submitting your application for the first deadline? What's the difference between the two deadlines?
Always good to get your application in early. This allows me, specifically in admissions, to make sure that we have everything that we need. The last thing that you want is getting to the deadline and realizing that maybe you don't have an updated transcript or what you needed. Sometimes it can take a while for transcripts to reach us. Lots of high schools, even though it is 2021 and we're really into technology, a lot of high schools do still send them through the mail. So sometimes it can take 2 to 3 weeks for us to get that. So starting early is really going to benefit you to make sure that we have everything when we start reviewing those applications. Another note to make is those scholarship deadlines. The sooner you get your application in and completed, the sooner that you can start applying for those scholarships too.
And I would also say on the primary deadline, if the cohort fills up on that first deadline, then those that are applying for the February would be on the waiting list. Every year is different. So if we are your first choice and you want to ensure that you get a seat, I highly recommend that you complete on that priority deadline.
Yep, definitely.
All right, those are all of the questions that I have. So we will kind of wrap up. If you have one more last chance, if you have additional questions, you can ask now. All right, it looks like everybody is good. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I hope you learned something about our program. And please do not hesitate to reach out to Sydney if you have questions about the application. And we will hopefully see you soon. We are having a preview day here on November 13th. You can find that information and registration on our website. We would love to have you on campus for you to get to see the labs and get to chat with some of our students as well. So thank you for attending and have a good night.